and we're live for another live session. And I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of these throughout the next few weeks, so I hope you enjoy them. I'd love you to leave comments below if there's things that are of interest or things that you'd like me to talk about. I'd also love you to put in your questions, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching in a replay. If you are watching replay, put replay and then your question and your comment after that, just so I know that you're watching, because it's always good feedback to know that people are watching these things. Funnily enough, some of the sessions that I've done, the feedback I've got is like a month later where they've said, I implemented that thing you said and it worked like this. I would love to know if people are getting value out of these now, so I know what to be giving you in the short term. But today we're going to be talking about overwhelm, and certainly 2020 was a catalyst for that sort of overwhelm, but also momentum. And so whether it's the start of the year in 2021, January, or whether it's potentially that you've lost a little momentum through the year before, I'm going to be talking about how you can actually get that back and how you can actually get moving and create some real energy behind your actions so that you can get some big results this year. Now, I'm actually speaking to you from a little studio that I've come across in the Waterman's building in Scoresby. I was just spending some time here because it's been an absolute heat wave here in Melbourne, Australia. And funnily enough, now it's pouring outside. So it's true what they say about Melbourne. It's literally 4 seasons in one day. Hello, Lindsay. I can see that you're actually watching there. If anyone else is watching, put some comments in. When I've been playing with the phone version of these lives, I haven't been able to see the comments as much. So put some comments in. Hopefully they will come up and I can actually respond back to you. But today's about overwhelm and getting momentum back. And the essence of that is energy. So funnily enough, when it comes to business, all we have is energy. There's the energy that we've spent in the past, which is the money, the resources, the team we have around us now. There's the energy in the future, which is the time we've got. And we've all got so limited amount of time. We've all got the same 24 hours in a day. Now, where are you going to spend that energy? And that's my focus for the year, certainly, is around fuel. Where am I going to fuel the activities that are going to generate the best outcomes for me this year? It's funny, in 2020, my actual name, my word for the year was ignite. And it was very much about starting things. How many little spot fires can I start so I can actually see what's going to get traction in this really crazy year of 2020? Well, now I've found out what actually does get traction and where businesses need to adapt and where they have adapted. Now it's my chance to actually put that fuel on the fire and get those things rolling. Now, it's the same with a lot of the businesses I speak to. So people are like, I need to get started, I need to get moving, or there's still too much going on around me. I'm feeling overwhelmed. So let's address the overwhelm first, because it's the thing that's going to stop you from doing anything else. If you're in a state of overwhelm, it literally means you can't take anything else on. You often can't think, you can't hear other suggestions that are coming to you from people you potentially trust. And so getting out of that state of overwhelm is going to allow you to see the landscape a little bit more clearly and allow you to make the decisions you need to make. So with overwhelm, whether it be, there's all these things happening around me, or whether there's a lot of spot fires in my business, or even to a business I spoke to recently where the husband in the business, who was the main driver in the business, had got cancer right at a time when they were actually looking to change a lot of things in the business. What are the things you can do? Well, the thing I did with her is to actually talk through what are the options. And I think that's when it comes to overwhelm, that's really a great place to start. And it might sound a little bit simplistic, but what are your options? Can you create a list of things that you can do or could do? Can you create a list of the pros and the cons of the situation that you're currently in? So if it's overwhelm, it's usually around too much, not enough time. So what can you remove? Make a list of the things that you can potentially remove. To do that, you need to make a list of the things that you're currently doing. Are there things that you should stop doing to enable you to do other things, or even enable you just to get the headspace so you can make some good choices? So overwhelm certainly on one side, and creating lists is just a very, very simple way of working through that process. Another way, which a lot of people avoid, is actually to talk to people. So you have a peer group Or do you have a mentor that you can talk to around some of these issues, because they get to see the forest for the trees? You're stuck there looking in the problem, and these people around the sides can actually help you see what's going on. And because ideally they're peers and or mentors or trusted advisors to you, you're going to be willing to listen even if you're in that overwhelmed state. So how can you be getting people around you who can help you see that forest for the trees? So making a list, getting in a community, whether it be your peer group or whether you have a mentor that's going to help you actually see what's going on. And then ideally, the thing that's going to get you out of overwhelm is taking small actions and getting small wins. All right, so that's a big thing that I talk about in the Forge, and it's something that we look at every single week, is how do you create a weekly win? How do you create a tiny little but powerful step that you can implement in just 7 days so that you get a win? Because one of the bigger reasons that there is momentum issues and overwhelm issues for a lot of people is because they've got these massive goals, and the massive goal might only be 3 months, but they're working for 3 months and they don't quite hit the goal that they'd set for themselves, and suddenly they're 2 steps back. They're 2 steps back emotionally. They don't feel like they've achieved what they want to achieve. They feel a little bit like a failure. They also haven't actually got to the place that they wanted to go in the first place. So I would suggest remove any of these big goals. You might have a big, hairy, audacious goal, the old BHAG. You might have that out there, but in order to get to it, you need to make these tiny, achievable steps. Now, the idea from other industries and other coaching practices is the idea that you could do, potentially, if you wanted to get fit, 2 push-ups a day. That's all you need to do. Could you do 2 push-ups? Now, for some of us, we might have trouble with 2 push-ups. But if you get down on the ground and do 2 push-ups, you will have achieved what you need to do for the day. Now, funnily enough, when you're down there and you've created the energy, you've created the momentum, you may do some more, but you don't need to. So what does a small step in your business look like? Let's say you want to build a new website. Creating a new website in 7 days is too big a step. And that's the sort of thing that's going to give you those overwhelm where you're trying to create these big steps. Step back from that and say, all right, well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do an outline of my website, which is like what pages that I'm going to have. And that's what I'm going to aim for this week. Get it done, because there's a lot of other things that you need to do during the week. There's the general day-to-day running of business. There's family. There's life all around it. The world is changing. What's a tiny step that you can commit to? So whether it be something like a website or whether it be sales, you might want to go, all right, well, I need to get X amount of leads. All right, so rather than force yourself into that, how many conversations would you need to get those leads? Start creating that. What is a number around the amount of conversations you can have, and say, all right, I'm going to commit to 5 every single week. Now that's huge. That's 5 times 52. That's a lot of conversations that ideally are going to be sales conversations and get you the opportunity to convert people into your world. But 5 is not too many. All right. So what's a small step, a very small step that you can do every 7 days to actually get you the wins that you want? So that's overwhelm. So we talked about creating lists. We want to take things off our plate that we don't need to do, focus in on the things that are going to give us the biggest outcomes, getting our peer group and people around us that are going to help us. And then finally, how do you concentrate on these tiny yet powerful steps every 7 days to get you a win every single week? Now that's the overwhelm. Once you've actually started getting momentum from those things that you're doing, once you started taking the steps from those things that we just talked about to get out of the overwhelm, you now have the opportunity to get that momentum back. And the momentum is simply taking one step and then taking another step. Those steps could be tiny. And I've actually got a resource that I'll put as a link to this video that actually is to, I think it's 99 different steps that you can take if you're feeling overwhelmed or you're feeling stuck in your business. And they're just little things that you can do just to get moving. Because if you can take one step, it usually means you can take another and another after that. And once you start creating that momentum, suddenly you're moving and you're starting to move forward at a rate of knots where you start moving from walking to running. And then when you're running, the momentum comes behind you, and so do the other people. They start coming with you, and they help you create the energy that you need to actually get the things done that you need to do. And so you're running, you move from there, you're putting more momentum, more energy behind the actions that you're doing, and then you're flying. And then you're back to that place where you're doing the things that you need to be doing every single week, these tiny yet powerful actions to get the momentum back in your business. So how do you get unstuck? How do you move from an overwhelmed place to a space where you can actually get that momentum back in your business? Lindsay, I can see there. Yep, the tiny steps in the forge have helped me get my sanity back last year. Fantastic. And still yet to make and I still made progress. Absolutely, you made progress. You had some massive wins, and it was from taking these tiny steps and also from ideally removing things and getting very clear about what was going to be effective in your year of 2021. Now, for anyone else who's interested in what we're talking about when it comes to the Forge, you can reach out to me. It's a program that I run for passionate yet frustrated business owners who are sick of taking 3 steps forward and 2 steps back, because that can be not only frustrating but actually be demoralizing to you as a professional in your business. Because at the end of the day, businesses don't tend to go out of business because of some financial hiccup or because some government legislation. The reason the small and medium businesses go out of business is because the driver, the managing director, the owner, the founder, the person who is actually there moving the business forward, literally ran out of energy. And so if you're feeling like there's any chance that you could be running out of energy, make sure you look at the things that I discussed, which is making a list of the things that you're doing, making sure you're not doing things that you shouldn't be. Get the peer group and the mentors around you to help you take those next steps, and focus on taking tiny yet powerful actions every single week so you can build that momentum back into your business. I hope that's been helpful. I'd love to read your comments. I didn't see too many there, so I'll have a look at the replay later. So if there is a comment later, put hashtag replay just to let me know that you are watching it. Until next time, stay passionate, and I'll catch you on the next one.